students. Today we'll study about the scales of fishes. So in many vertebrates, the exoskeleton covering of body is made up of two types of scales, the epidermal and the dermal. The epidermal scales are the cornified derivatives of the Malpighian layer of epidermis, and it is well developed in the terrestrial vertebrates, for example reptiles, birds and mammals. Whereas dermal scales are mesenchymal in origin and are especially developed in the fishes. These are small, thin cornified, calcareous or horny plates which fit closely together or overlap. Talking about their arrangement, the arrangement of scales on the fish body is uh, often imbricated and thus overlap like the shingles on the roof, in which the free margins are directed towards the tail because this arrangement minimizes the friction of water so that they can easily propel forward during swimming. But sometimes the reversal pattern can also be seen in some fishes. Uh, Lota and freshwater eel, that is anguilla, in these cases the pattern of scales is mosaic rather than the overlapping pattern. The scales vary in the shape and sizes among different species. The body of all the fishes except for the members of family Coeluridae and also few bottom dwellers is covered by the scales. That is, except for the bottom dwellers and the fishes belonging to the family Coeluridae, every other fish body of the fish is covered with the scales. Scales are usually found covering the entire body surface, but in the fishes like Chimera, Polydon, and Accipenser, the scales are present only in some localized areas. Five types of dermal scales that have been found in the fishes are cosmoid, placoid, ganoid, cycloid, and ctenoid. Here in the diagram, you can see all these kinds of scales. Talking about the first types of scales, that is cosmoid, they do not found in the living fishes, but they are the characteristic of certain ostracoderms, placoderms, and extinct sarcopterygians. In these types of scale, four distinct layers can be seen. The outermost is the thin enamel-like ganoin. Then comes the thick dentine-like cosmine, spongy bone, and the innermost compact bone. Further moving towards placoid scale, here you can see in the diagram, these are the placoid scales. These are the characteristic of elasmobranch fishes only, and each placoid scale consists of backwardly directed spine which arise from a rounded or you can say rhomboidal basal plate embedded in the dermis, as you can see here in the diagram, and the spine is made up of enamel-like and basal plate of dentine-like bony material. A pulp cavity inside the spine opens through the basal plate. The placoid scales are closely set together in the skin, giving it a sandpaper-like quality. So here you can see in the diagram, these are the placoid scales. Now the another one are the ganoid scales. As you can see here in the diagram, these are the ganoid scales. The ganoid scales are also known as rhomboid scales. These are thick, usually rhomboid or you can say diamond shaped in structure, which closely fitted side by side like the tiles, as you can see here, that provides a bony armor to the fish for protection. As you can see here in the diagram, these are the rhomboid shaped kind of scales. In some cases, they may also overlap. The ganoid scales are the characteristics of chondrostenes, that is Polypterus and Accipenser, also holostenes, that is Lepidostis, and often therefore they are known as ganoid fishes because they consist of ganoid scales. Talking about another kind of scales, that is cycloid scales. Here you can see in the diagram, these are the cycloid scales. These are thin, flexible, translucent plates, rather circular in outline, thicker in the center, and marked with several concentric lines of growth which can be used for determining the age of fishes. Here you can see in the diagram. If you closely see the diagram, these inside these structure you can see concentric lines, and these they can be used to determine the age of a fish. They are composed of thin upper layer of bone and a lower layer of fibrous connective tissue. They also overlap each other, and each scale is embedded in a small pocket of dermis. Cycloid scales are found in the lung fishes. That is, this is the characteristic of lung fishes. Further, moving towards the last types of scales, that is ctenoid scales. These are the characteristics of modern higher teleosteans such as perch, sunfish, etc. In their structure and arrangement is such that they are similar to the cycloid scales. That is, the ctenoid scale and the cycloid scales resembles each other. They are more firmly attached, and their exposed free hind parts, which do not overlap, bear numerous small comb-like teeth or spines. Intermediate type between cycloid and ctenoid scales also occur. So these were some kind of scales which are found and are common in the fishes.